Hello everyone, my name is Sumitra Swai and welcome to the digital classes of financial management. In our last class, we have discussed about the scope of financial management and different various disciplines which are related to this field or financial management. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the objective of financial management, which are only two types. First objective is profit maximization and the next one is or the second one is wealth maximization. So, what is profit maximization? It is very simple to understand what is profit, and when we try to enhance or maximize our profit, that objective will become our profit maximization. For example, if I am investing in one thing that will cost me 50,000 and when I am getting a return from that investment that is of 58,000 rupees. So, we can simply say that our profit is 8,000 rupees. So, you can now understand that if I am getting 8,000 today and next year I will obviously try to get a profit of more than 8,000, that may be of 10,000 or 20,000, but for sure I will never try to get the same value of profit. We always try to maximize our profit. So, why the need of earning profit? Because the main aim of any organization is to earn profit, and profit maximization is the parameter of judging that how a organization or company is performing. Profit is earned to cover its cost and provide funds for its growth. Obviously, if we are earning profit, then we can say that we are growing. If we will not earn profit, then we will be stable. Then how can we grow our organization or how can we grow ourselves? So, profit maximization is a very genuine objective and it is very simple to understand. So, we have understand that what is profit maximization, but the problem is that in profit maximization there are so many drawbacks or there are so many limitations. There are these drawbacks of profit maximization. First one is ambiguity. And what is ambiguity? Ambiguity means this is not clear, means this is vague. Why it is ambiguity? Because it is not precisely defined. Okay. So, I told you that when I am investing for 50,000 rupees and I am getting 58,000 rupees, I can simply say that my profit is 8,000 rupees. But that profit is my gross profit or net profit, that profit is after tax or before tax. There is not anything clearly defined or it is not precisely informed to us. We cannot understand that what we are exactly trying to speak. Okay. Next one is it ignores time value of money. What is the time value of money? We will discuss it separately in a separate subject, but here I can say you simply that time value of money means you have listened in your childhood days that your grandfather or your parents were speaking that in our days we were able to buy meat in 5 rupees. Nowadays we are buying meat I think for 200 rupees, okay, but in their days it was only for 5 rupees. So, from the journey of 5 rupees only 2 generations back and to this point when the thing turned into 200 rupees, it is only the factor of time value. Means when in your childhood days you are going to utilize 10 paisa, you are not able to use this money nowadays. Those factor is known as time value of money. So, financial manager in profit maximization ignores the time factor or time value of money. That is why we treat it as a drawback of profit maximization. Next is it ignores risk factor. Why it ignores risk factor? Because we are saying that before 7 days or before 1 year we are investing in a project of 50,000 rupees and today we are earning or we are getting a return of 58,000. But what about the risk factor I have gone through? we are not taking into consideration of about those risk factors. And when we are talking about profit, we must consider different type of risk and we must calculate those risks only, not only to on profit. So in profit maximization we simply say that we ignore risk factor. And the next one is dividend policy. Dividend, what is dividend? Dividend is the reward or the return we are paying to the shareholders for the amount they have invested as form of share capital in our company. What I said that जो पैसा हम एक शेयर होल्डर जो हमको इन्वेस्ट किया था कंपनी शुरुआत में, हम हर साल जो उसको रिटर्न देते हैं उसको हम बोलते हैं डिविडेंड. ओके, so why in profit maximization dividend policy is a drawback? Because when we are treating our profit as 8,000 or anything, we are not taking into consideration what we are paying for our shareholders. If they have invested 50,000 and if we are only providing them our profit or only dividend portion, but what about the value? Okay, if they have invested, then we must also focus that the value of the market share price must be enhanced or increased. Okay, so in first slide we have talked about two objectives, that is first one profit maximization and the next one is wealth maximization. So let's go to the next slide, which is wealth maximization. What is wealth maximization? We have understood very clearly that what is profit maximization. Now wealth maximization is something which is not quantitative in nature. Like if I am saying that there are increase in our customer base, if I am saying that there are increase in our shareholders number, if I am saying our company's growth has increased in form of size or the assets, anything that is quantitative in numbers, okay, that is not only in form of numericals in volume, means in value. Okay, so wealth maximization we can simply understood that if I have today at my home only one TV and when I am earning profit, I can utilize those profit to enhance my wealth. So I can buy another TV. So I can say that at my home I have increased my wealth. Okay. So it is not always to earn profit or to maximize our profit. We should also focus how to enhance our wealth also. So this is here written that it is the concept of increasing the value of the business in order to increase the value of shares held by its shareholder. The most evidence of wealth maximization is change in the price of the company's share. For example, if a company's share at the beginning was used to 200 rupees per share and after 1 year or 2 year or 3 year it may rise in up to 250 rupees. Okay, so we can say that the market price or the market share price have gone increased. So we can say that company is maximizing in term of its wealth. And the last one is it take into consideration the risk factor and ultimately the time value of money. And why? Because I have already told you that if the share price was used to be 200 rupees and after 1 year or 2 year it is going to 220 rupees, that means what? That after 2 years the 200 rupees has changed into 220 rupees, means with time the price has changed. So this is called wealth maximization and these are the two basic objectives. Next is our different types of decision taken by a financial manager. There are normally or majorly three groups of decision. One is investment decision, next is financing decision and the last one is dividend decision. Investment decision. Investment decision means it is related to the determination of total amount of asset to be held in the company. It is the composition of various type of asset a manager is going to invest it, or the money is going to be invested. So, in investment decision we are taking a decision of in which criteria or in which group we are going to invest our money. So, normally for a financial manager there are two type of investment decision, means the financial manager take two type of investment decision. First one is long term, if we are going to invest our money in a project or in anything that is going to last for more than 1 year. Okay, that long term investment will known as capital budgeting, and second is the short term investment. So, short term investment decision means obviously that will be less than 1 year. Okay. Tell me one thing, if in a family it is going to invest its money for a car, okay, if I am going to buy a car, what am I planning for? That I will not buy a car for at least 2 to 3 years. Yes or no? But if I am investing my money in vegetables, in milk, or with copy or pen, those day to day investment, also I am investing my money in those things also, but those things are very short term in nature. Maybe the car will not go for 10 years, but obviously I am expecting that it will go for more than 1 year. So, if I am investing my money in car, that will be my capital budgeting, and if I am investing my money in vegetables, in milk, in pen, book, bag, anything, that will be very for a short period, that will be my working capital management. Next is our financing decision. In financing decision, what we do is we have decided that where we are going to invest. Okay, we have decided the long term investment or short term investment, we have decided in which asset we are going to utilize our money, but from where we are going to collect those money, which will be the resources that from where we are going to get those money, those decisions are taken at financing decision. It is related to raising the finance. It involves identification of various sources of finance, and the quantum means how much quantum of finance to be raised for long term and short term sources. So, now the question is, what are the different sources that a financial manager will raise its money? The sources may be equity share capital, may be from preference share capital, or that may be a debenture. Debenture means any type of debt or any type of loan, all those things. When I am getting my money from any financial institution, okay, that will be known as debt or debenture. And next is retained earnings. So, there are different type of sources. So, the financial manager is going to manage that from which source I am going to collect those money and how, for what period I am going to collect those money. If I am going to raise money from the bank for 10 years of loan, or for a period of 5 years, or for 2 years, what time period it is going to take decision regarding the interest rate. Okay. So, we have to take decision regarding various things, various sectors where we can wisely take decision regarding those things. Okay. Next is our dividend decision. I have already told you that what is a dividend. Dividend is a reward to the shareholders who have invested money in our company. It is concerned with the quantum of profit to be distributed among shareholders. Why? Why we are going to distribute our profit to the shareholders? Because it was those shareholders who have provided money to us during the time of investing. So, from their money we have invested. Okay, so it is our turn now that when we are getting a profit, we are going to distribute those profit among those shareholders. A decision has to be taken whether all the profit are to be distributed, to retain all the profit in the business, or to keep a part of profit in the business and distribute other among the shareholder. So what is this point all about? Here in dividend decision, the financial manager take a very major decision regarding that if I am getting a profit, okay, if I am getting a profit of, for example, 50,000 rupees, if I am going to distribute all the 50,000 rupees to shareholders, or if I am going to keep those 50,000 with me, I will not share them this year, I will share them next year. If I am going to keep all the 50,000 rupees, or I am going to distribute 40,000 rupees among the shareholder and keep those 10,000 rupees as my retained earning to invest in future. Means when I am getting a profit, I am not going to share all the 100%. I am going to keep a smaller portion for which is known as a retained earning. And what is the purpose of retained earning? That the financial manager, when in future there will be another better opportunity or any bigger project I am going to acquire, I can utilize those retained earning in those time. I will not go in search of sources of finance. Okay. So this much for today's class. In our next class, we are going to the topic of time value of money. Till then, thank you.